This week in green, Carvey Aaron Maig, a Filipino engineering student, has invented a revolutionary solar panel using the luminescent particles from fruit and vegetable waste. The food waste particles in these solar panels act just as they do in nature, absorbing the sun's ultraviolet rays and turning them into visible light. The panels then convert this harvested light into electricity. And because ultraviolet rays can still reach the panels even on cloudy days or where indirect sunlight can be a factor, these panels can be installed in places where typical solar panels cannot. The particles are placed on a resin surface, which can be molded into different shapes and installed in unexpected places, such as the exterior of a vehicle or along the walls and windows of a building. This young inventor is even working on threads and fabric that can be used to make clothing that generates electricity. Upon hearing the news, Emperor Palpatine denounced the invention as disgusting and a cheap ruse by mud-born muggles to prevent the use of force powers. I know that's kind of a flip of like culture references because you've got Muggles and Harry Potter.
You added Muggles and Palpatine.
With Palpatine and Star Wars.
I was like, first of all, you did freaking Lord of the Rings earlier. This is the geek episode.
I went geek a little bit this week, so if you're wondering why, yes, we went Looney Tunes. We went yes, it was a bit full geek. But I was just thinking, you know, if you're Palpatine and you're used to just shooting electricity out of your hands willy nilly. Well, how horrible is it to find out that people could be wearing clothes that give them electricity, and they just get little devices put on our fingers? We could just shock each other. How great will that be?
Unbelievable! I love this idea of sticking solar panels everywhere, like clothing, unusual places. These molds, these resins that are mounting. I think that's a creative idea, and if they're wanting to put them on cars.
Yeah, that's the idea. Is that you can put them anywhere. So, and if you can put them anywhere, then that adds. It just makes it so you can make energy in a lot more places. A couple of talking points I found, they're using the food waste, which is mostly supplied by the crops of farmers who are hit with natural disasters, which I think is kind of a great idea, right? Because this is a horrible situation for most farmers. You have a natural disaster come, you have a typhoon or a hurricane or whatever, or too much drought so you can't get full growth. Whatever the problem is, that happens, and then you get this company, it's like, we'll buy them. We'll take your crops, and instead of you just, dumping them, we'll use them to make something else, which is kind of neat. It does, however, make an interesting kind of problem, which is, if it becomes adopted in like a really massive way, does that mean that we're now growing food to just throw it into solar panels, right? But then I was thinking though, as I was on this little train, because these kind of articles make me think, as I was on this train of what that means. I mean, we're already kind of doing that with biofuels, right? With biofuels, we just burn it. So you're getting the value of growing the food, which then absorbs some carbon, but then you burn it, which then throws more back in the air. And so the idea was, by doing these two things, it's somewhat carbon neutral. But how much better is it though if you're growing your batteries? So you're growing you're growing the food and then using that for the batteries. Although for a while that won't be an issue because there's plenty of waste food, as we all know. We've talked about it many times in the past. That 50% of the food that's grown is just thrown away. So if we can start getting that and harvesting it and using it for energy, for power, that would be really great. Out of 78 crops that he tested, 9 have been shown so far to be effective. So it can't just grow anything. I was thinking when I was first reading it, what if it was something like a weed, like hemp or something like that? But apparently that's not going to work. It's got to be. There's only a few things that work for it, but that's okay. And that's the biggest thing. That's it, folks.
So that's all, folks. More Looney Tunes for you today.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have more for you soon.